Hello YouTube. It's it's just me. It's a brand new video. Um, don't mind the hair. It's a little bit messy, but anyways, I I want to go over my goals for this year. It's 2025. It's a brand new year. You know, the first month, January, has already passed, and I kind of want to go over everything I want to achieve for myself this year. And there are a lot of things that I want to learn. There are a lot of things I want to improve on. Um, I feel like my viewpoint of the world is that this is your one life that you sort of get, and there's always options and certain things that you can choose for yourself and what you want to do. And I feel like most people generally waste their potential. And I feel like most people kind of flow through life and live with mediocrity, you know. Most people kind of live a very average life. And I've seen many different lifestyles of many different people, you know. I've seen the lifestyle of rich people, I've seen the lifestyle of poor people. I've seen people who have kept themselves in a more unhealthy way of living, and I've seen people who've kept themselves fit. I've seen people with good mental stability and people that are rather more of the opposite. So life, it's very interesting, really. You know, everyone goes down a different path, and sometimes you have to sit there and you ask yourself, what kind of path do you want? What kind of path do you want to take? And for me, I want to become more. I want to go down that path to where I become a better person. And I just don't want to become a better person um, for people to like me, or, you know, some sort of alternative motive. I want to become a better person because that's kind of what feels right to me, if that makes any sense. So what kind of things do I want to improve on? What kind of goals do I have? What do I mean by becoming a better person, right? What do I mean by becoming more? What does that mean? What kind of sense does that make? And specifically what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of different things that I want to grow on. Um, let's start off with my diet, right? Let's start off with my diet. So throughout the past couple years, I don't have a strict diet. I don't have anything that I specifically choose to eat consistently. It's more of just whatever I have around. And I'm one of the lucky few that have very good metabolism. So regardless of what I consume, it doesn't necessarily affect my physique, right? So it's very difficult for me to gain fat. And on top of that, I do a lot of physical training on a weekly basis. So it's not like it makes much of a difference. It's only if I consume a lot, and I mean a lot of a specific type of food, that could become very unhealthy. So I want to get to the point where I'm not consuming as much salty food and as much sugary food. And the reason to why I want that is because I know that's a very effective to the skin, right? I don't have necessarily the best skin. You know, if you can see, I have acne on my face, I have scarring here and there. That's just kind of how my life, or how I have been physically in terms of appearance for the past, well, since puberty till now, you know? So I want to kind of cut away those types of food. I'm not saying I'm not going to completely stay away from salt and sugar, because at the end of the day, you still need those. You still need that type of what do you say it? You still need those ingredients into your body for you to function properly. You still need to eat sugar, right? Obviously not a lot, but your body still needs sugar, and maybe salt here and there, but not too much salt, right? Not, you know, overconsumption. But I want to cut down on junk food. I want to cut down on fast food. I want to cut down on anything that isn't necessarily the kind of food that you should be eating that is considerably healthy, right? Um, no more food before bed. At least 4 to 6 hours before I go to sleep, no more eating anything. The reason to that is because there are times where I would have maybe a late night snack, I would eat so and so, and then when I go to bed afterwards, my stomach is still, filled up with food, and it doesn't necessarily feel so good because not everything is fully digested yet. And the moment you lay down, you go to sleep, it kind of messes up your digestive system a little bit. And I kind of want to stay away from having that habit of always eating late at night. So no more eating before bed. And recently I bought myself sea moss, right? Sea moss, I guess. I don't know how to necessarily describe it because I barely just learned it, I think 2 weeks ago on my own. Sea moss is basically, I guess it's like a seaweed that contains many nutrients, right? Many health benefits. And one of my coworkers kind of brought it up, and she was telling me how sea moss would help you in terms of recovery. It would help you in terms of your digestive system, your skin, and so on. There's all these health and benefits or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, I'll try it out. So far I've taken sea moss for the past 2 to 3 days. And obviously during that time frame, I'm not going to notice anything significant in terms of benefits. But I do plan and I do intend to continuously take the supplement for myself. And I think it's mainly because I just need faster recovery, specifically to what I'm training on a weekly basis. I'm practically not necessarily destroying my body, but I am putting my body through quite a bit of stress here and there, and I need myself to recover quicker. And I think this would help me with that. And then why do I want to change my diet? Like I said, I already have good metabolism, right? I could practically eat unhealthy and still be fit. But I think if you had two choices, right? You have two choices. You have two people. One guy eats unhealthy food, works out. He still works out. He still tries to keep himself fit, but he eats a lot of unhealthy food. And another guy eats healthy food, right, with enough calories, proteins, and so on, doesn't consume any junk food. And this guy also works out and does the same thing. Chances are this guy would be, they're both fit, but this guy would probably be a lot more healthy compared to this guy, realistically. And the benefits in terms of how far you would go in life in the long run would probably be so much better compared to this guy. So that's kind of why I want to work on my diet. My second goal is my financial situation, right? So there are a couple different things. Currently, I have a full-time job. I'm working. I'm not necessarily making a lot of money. It's kind of enough to get by. But besides that, I do intend of wanting to go back to school, get some more education, maybe get a higher paying job or get into a higher paying career. In terms of my financial situation, I want to save more money, right? And on top of saving more money, I want to invest my money into the stock market. And for those of you who have been watching my content for past couple months, or how long has it been? Let me see. For those of you that have been watching my content for the past roughly 3 months-ish, you know that I've been doing dropshipping here and there. I actually decided to kind of stop doing all that dropshipping stuff, mainly because I wasn't necessarily being consistent with it, and I wasn't really gaining too much in the dropshipping with my TikTok and whatnot. And I felt like maybe if I kind of channel my energy of dropshipping into investing into the stock market, that would be a lot better. And plus, I have more experience investing into the stock market. So I know more of investing than I do of running, of running an online business, basically. So I want to invest more of my money. I've been doing a bit of research here and there on what to invest into and where to put my money in. I'm not necessarily making as much profit as I would like, currently, because it's very early in the stock game right now for me, but my plan is to kind of triple my money within maybe the next couple years, and that's just straight up passive income, you know. And maybe I think in the long run, I'm thinking about 10 to 20 years, I want to invest into the right stocks, continuously put money in there, and have that thing create a compound effect to where I'm just generating so much money. I don't even need to work a job anymore. That's really the goal, you know. It's gonna take a long time. I don't I think most financial success, specifically coming from people that are considerably wealthy, takes a lot of time. You know, some people are lucky enough, or not necessarily lucky, but some people work hard enough and considerably lucky enough to create good wealth within a short span, maybe a couple years. Other people take longer, but the mindset there that kind of builds within that progress is something that I kind of want for myself. Having a long term mindset than a short term. Instead of chasing instant gratification, you're chasing you're more of how do you say it? It's like you would prefer to reap rewards that you worked hard for over a long period of time. That there's like this certain satisfaction that you would get compared to getting satisfaction within a quick span of time, but then having that sort of satisfaction go away. You know, basically the opposite of instant gratification. But anyways, I'm ranting too much, but to continue on, no more going out, no more foolishly spending my money. And what I mean by that is, you know, sometimes I'll go out to places here and there and I'll buy stuff that I don't necessarily need. I want to stop doing that. I want to eat out less, so no more restaurants. I'll eat at home. You know, I live with my mom currently. She does cooking, and so I'll eat whatever she makes, and I think that's a lot smarter of a choice rather than going out and eating out. Um, Stop spending buying things. Same thing as foolishly spending. I want to replace the car that I have. That's one of my goals as well, to get a better car. I don't necessarily want a brand new car. I don't necessarily want to spend foolishly on a car that I don't have money for. I'd rather buy a used car, something that could get me to point A to point B, but definitely get a better car, because the one that I have has issues here and there, and that's um, not necessarily the best vehicle to have, you know. And I wrote down a little quote. It's not about where you are now, but what you do to be in a better place later. So I guess that's kind of there to remind me that regardless of where I am financially now, that's not the important thing. The important thing is what kind of actions do I take from here moving forward that will put me into a better position, right? Because anybody could start off in a rich, how do you say, anybody could start off as a rich person if they're lucky enough to be born into a wealthy family, but things can always go south, you know what I'm saying? So even if you start off on the bottom, you always have the opportunity to rise up. So it's not about where you are currently, but it's really about where you'll be in the next 10 to 20 years that really matters. It's all about thinking long term. And obviously, you know, how come I want to improve my financial situation? It's fairly obvious. Life requires money, right? Nothing's free. Nothing's really like, oh, you can just do whatever you want. Life requires money. Things cost money. You know, to have fun costs money. To eat costs money. To live costs money. It's practically a business world where we are, and everything is money. So money is important. I'm not necessarily saying that you should become kind of drawn towards money and kind of worship money and worship wealth or whatnot, but I'm just saying, be smart. You know, be smart, think long term, figure out how you can kind of take care of yourself financially, figure out how you can be financially stable. And even for me, I don't want to necessarily focus on having just a job to create my income. Like I said, I want to do investing. I want to have more income than simply working a job, because that's not necessarily going to keep me stable, you know, forever. And it's not what working a 9 to 5 isn't necessarily what I want for the rest of my life. That's just sad. But anyways, habits. I want to do more self-education. I feel like I'm not the smartest person there is. And I'm not dumb either. But I can be a lot better. I want to read one book each month. Just one book. Could be anything, right? Some book, maybe something about I don't know. Maybe I can read a book about self-help, or something about medicine, or working out, whatever it may be. But just reading a book each month, that'll be helpful. Learning a language consistently, that's definitely something I need to work on. Let's see. Also, I want to read the Bible more and pray to God. I'm very much a believer of God. I'm very much of a believer of Jesus Christ. I understand I'm not a good person. I am far from being a good person. I understand that I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm getting closer to God. And that needs to be fixed. And I've sinned a lot. I've done a lot of bad things. I've done a lot of things that, I regret here and there. I've done a lot of things that I wish I didn't. And I feel like those reasons why I've done those things was because I didn't have God in my life. I want to read the Bible and I want to pray to God more consistently. I think that's what I really need. I think that's probably the most important thing on this list. Because without God, it's like you don't have much purpose anymore. Once you find God, you find your purpose. And you kind of find, how do you say it, not necessarily happiness, but I don't know how to explain it. I guess I don't know how to really explain it. You find more meaning in life, kind of. Focus on becoming better, productive. Learn to live in the moment. Learn to focus on what I can control, not what I can't control. I think these are all very important things. Moving on, training, right? For those of you who watch my YouTube shorts, who have stumbled across my YouTube shorts, you've noticed that I do a lot more than just one thing, right? You'll see me lift weights, you'll see me do archery, you see me at the gym doing flips. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. But I want to train more than I usually do. And I think this is specifically strength training, like calisthenics and weightlifting. I want to train 3 times a week. Currently, I train maybe once or twice a week, but I want to bump it up to 3 times a week, and I want to take the training more seriously, right? And then I want to diverse my training into different martial arts. Currently, I have a bit of knowledge in boxing, in taekwondo. I have a bit of knowledge. That's really about it, to be honest. Just kicking and being able to punch. But I want to diverse my martial arts into grappling and whatever comes in front of me later on in life. Then I want to train weapons. Currently, archery is one. There's also swords, nunchucks, knives. Eventually, I want to diverse into learning how to use firearms, but that's for the future. Stretch, conditioning, that's very, very important when you train a lot, specifically if you're training a lot of skills and if you're putting a lot of stress into your body, like what I do. Stretching is very, very important. And conditioning is mostly just kind of warming yourself up and then training your body for strength to be able to handle whatever stuff you plan to do in your training sessions. Like, for example, if you're doing flips, you have to make sure you condition your legs, your knee joints, your ankles. Those are important. You don't want to land a flip and accidentally tweak yourself. That is far from what you would want. Stretching is important. It helps kind of loosen up your body when it becomes stiff after a training session. That's kind of an issue I have. I'll work out and then my body becomes stiff. Fairly normal, but stretching it out a little bit will help a lot. So I need to do more stretching. and then listening to my body. I think this is very important as well, because some people will go out, train, put a lot of stress, and kind of overwork themselves. And typically when you overwork your body, you basically end up getting injured. You end up getting injured, you end up hurting yourself, you end up sending yourself back and whatnot. So make sure, I have to make sure I listen to it. If I'm not feeling good, I'm not going to do anything crazy, right? I'm kind of just going to let myself sit it out a bit. So listening to my body, get into a routine, and focus on my progress and not my results. So focusing more on work ethic and not results, basically. So why do I want to improve on training? What's the reasoning? What's the point of training? A whole bunch of different stuff. I want to be capable. That's really bad. I want to just be capable. I want to learn and have as much knowledge as I can in terms of physical capabilities. I just want to be able to do stuff. That's really about it. I just want to be able to, in terms of fighting, I want to be able to stand my ground if I ever need to, right? In terms of strength, I just want to be strong enough to do certain things. Like, I don't know, like carrying people, having endurance, running long distances, just being physically capable, because not a lot of people out there have that sort of ability to kind of do, my words are kind of like, a lot of people aren't physically capable of things, and there's many things that kind of play into that role as well, like their diets or their daily habits. Maybe they're so busy they don't have time to work out. But if anything happens, and if they ever get stuck in a situation where they need to be physically strong and they're not physically strong, then obviously bad things can happen. I don't want to be that person. I want to be prepared, basically. So these are mostly what I want for myself for this year. I want to spend more time improving who I am, becoming a better person. I want to become more than what I used to be. And obviously, things like these take time, but this video is just for me to be accountable and to kind of look back and to kind of see, maybe by the end of this year, during December or something, I can look back at this video and see my progress and be like, oh yeah, in this video I was saying so and so and so, and then this year I was definitely doing all that, or something like that, right? I can look back to see if I'm actually living based off of my words and what I'm saying. And I put a little quote down here, and it says, if you had two choices, one where you were your best and one where you were at your worst, which one would you choose? And I wrote, whichever version of myself that's growing and getting closer to God. So regardless of if I'm at my best, or regardless if I'm at my worst, I'd rather be in the position where I'm just growing myself and getting closer to God. So that's kind of what I put. Wow. So work on my diet, eat healthier, no more fake food, take sea moss consistently, get good health benefits from good food and good nutrients, work on my financial situation, save money, stop spending foolishly, invest more money, study on what to invest into, do research. But the plan is to become very, very financially stable without needing a job. And read books, educate, learn languages, become better, read the Bible, pray every day, get closer to God, be a better man, be kind. I can't control everything in my life. And as much as this sucks, that's kind of what I have to accept, and I have to learn to kind of move on and figure out what I can control and go from there. And train more. Take training seriously, stop slacking off, stop sleeping in, become better. Learn more skills, practice more. Do better with your free time, stop procrastinating, stop wasting time. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to have skills stacked upon skills, stacked upon skills. That's what I want for myself. I want to be in my 30s and look back and nod my head and say, yes, I worked hard, I trained hard, I did what I could. You know, I used up the tank. I don't want to look back in my 30s and say, damn man, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have, instead of sitting there and doing nothing, I wish I could have worked on this or I could have worked on that. That's not what I want for myself. And maybe I'll look back on this video later on in life and maybe I'll nod my head and say, yeah, I didn't waste time. I actually executed what I wanted. You know, I did what I could. So these are basically my goals for 2025 and basically my goals for the rest of my life. Obviously, goals will change and priorities will change, but for the most part, that's kind of where my mindset is currently. I want to stay focused. I don't want to focus on things that are unnecessary. I want to focus on things that are relevant, things that are important. I can't control everything. I can't control everybody. There's going to be people out there that are going to hate me. There's going to be people out there who are going to dislike me or dislike what I do. Maybe they find that I'm annoying or whatever. I can't do anything about that. I can't expect everyone to like me. The best I can do is move on, continue improving myself, and the right people will come and the wrong people will move out, basically. And I can't expect everything to happen immediately. You know, like great things take time, results take time. Instead of focusing on my results, instead of focusing on, okay, when am I going to get here? When am I going to get there? Focus on the work ethic. Be hungry. How do you say it? Damn, I forgot. Be more hungry with the progress rather than the results. Be more hungry to go out and execute rather than gaining something in return. So that's where I want to be. So I'm gonna continue what I'm doing. I'm gonna try and change things here and there. But I very much believe in myself that with work ethic, with mindset, with consistency, with the right circle in your life, with the right people, it'll take you places you never believed yourself would get to, you know? And I'm kind of glad I made this video to kind of map everything out to show what I want for myself. Because when you speak out your thoughts, it there's times where it does come true, you know? And these are my current thoughts. And obviously, dreams are dreams, but dreams mean nothing without work ethic. So I want to become the best someday. And you may ask, the best in what? You know, like what exactly are you going to become the best in? And that's a really good question. I want to become the best in almost everything. And I know there's nothing about me that's significantly impressive yet. And I'm still on that rookie side in terms of all the training that I put myself through, but I'll get there. I'll get there.